students, once again welcome back to my class and welcome back to the lesson A Soldier's Son. So in my previous video what happened, so when he asked something to the boy, the pilot asked something to the boy, then he said that surely sir, I do not take any chance. This was happened in my previous video. So let's continue its further part. Okay, first model reading. The man's hands were bleeding. He fumbled inside his pocket and took out a packet of papers. Take this to the commanding officer of the army unit, he said. Tell him this must reach the airport station Ambala by night. Tell him to take care of it and make sure it reaches Ambala on time. Now run for your life. You must avoid the enemy. Will you be able to do it? Okay. Dear students, let's come to know the meaning of this particular paragraph. Better we go line by line. Yes. The man's hands were bleeding. Whose hands were bleeding here? Here, the pilot's hands were bleeding. You know, he fumbled inside his pocket. Fumbled means, here is the word fumble. It means hide or kept something. He kept something in his pocket. Who? The pilot. He fumbled inside his pocket and took out a packet of papers. See here, there is a difference between pocket and packet. So this is pocket and this is packet. Okay. Yeah. So what happened? He fumbled inside his pocket and took out a pocket of papers. So he put something in his pocket. That is none other than papers. So now he take out the papers from his pocket. Take and hand over to the boy. Okay. How could he say? Take this to the commanding officer. See here, commanding officer. So once the boy said to him that there is army camp nearby. So he said that, so better you take this paper to the commanding officer. So this is one more character. Okay. We can call it in short form as CO. CO means commanding officer. Yes. Take this to the commanding officer of the army unit. So there was a setup of army unit nearby. So in that, okay, he said, who said? The pilot said, tell him this must reach the Air Force station. So where could it reach? That papers should be reached to the Air Force station. Where it is situated? The Air Force station is situated in Ambala. So that paper should be reached Ambala within time, on time, in accurate time. Okay. Ambala by night. So by hook or crook, this night only that should be reached to the Ambala station, Air Force station, Ambala. Okay. Tell him to take care of it and make sure it reaches Ambala on time. And you need to tell the commanding officer that this must and should be reached within the time. No short term of period. Okay. Yes. This should be reached to the Air Force station Ambala in time. Okay. Do not take any chance. By hook or crook, it has to reach today only, like that. Yes. Ambala on time. Now run for your life. So begin and run for your life. You know. So you are who you are? You are like a child. So you have to run very fast. So some armies are surrounded by you. So that's what he said, that now you run for your life. For the sake of your life, you have to run. Yes. You must avoid the enemy. So while you are running to the commanding officer, sometimes what happened in between or in the meanwhile, some of the enemies can attack you. So you should avoid the enemies and you have to reach the paper within the time to the commanding officer. And you must say to the commanding officer that that paper should be sent to the Air Force Station Ambala in time. That's it. Okay. Now run for your life. You must avoid the enemy. Will you be able to do it? Then he asked. Then he put the questions that will you be able to do it? Can you capable to reach this paper to the Ambala station or commanding officer? Then the boy replied. Okay. How could he reply? Let's see. Yes, sir, I will do it. But you, the enemy will catch you. Okay. Then how could he reply? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. By hook or crook, I have to reach this to the commanding officer. I will do it. What you have given me the task, definitely I will get success in it. I will do it. Okay. But you, then he asks the question. Who asked? The boy asked the question to the pilot that, but you, what about you, sir? If I leave you alone here, then the enemy may come anytime. They can attack you. So that's what he said. So, but you, the enemy will catch you. Then he said that, the boy said that, but you, what about you? Enemy will catch you. Okay, they might be kill you like that. Don't worry about me. Then who replied? Then the pilot replied that you no need to worry about me. About me means about the pilot. I can escape. So I know how to escape from the enemy. I will try and distract them. So I will try as much as possible to distract them. Distract means what? Change their direction. I can change their direction. If they come nearer to me, if they try to catch me, then I will drag their attention to some other side, some other direction. Who said? The pilot said. Okay. You run and hand over the pocket. Now you should run from this place and you have to hand over means nothing but reach. Hand over means nothing but reach to give someone. Okay. Now you run and hand over the packet. So now you run from this place and you have to hand over this pocket to the commanding officer. When he said to the boy that you have to reach this packet to the commanding officer, then the boy agreed with the pilot. Then how could he say? Let's continue. Yes, sir, said the boy with a smart salute. Then he said that, yes, sir, definitely I will reach these papers to the commanding officer. Then he left the place by doing one salute. Yes, smart salute. You know, because he is a pilot. He belongs to Air Force officer. So that's what he made salute. Who made salute? The boy made salute. Okay. The man could not help smiling, although he was grimacing with the pain of his injuries. So when the boy saluted to the falling figure, means that pilot, then he could not reply with the smile because he was suffering from the wounds. Who was suffering from? The pilot was suffering from the wounds because of that pain of injuries. You know, while he was settled down from the air to the down, that time he got so many injuries because the plane was crashed by the enemy fighter. So that time, with the help of parachute, he settled down to the earth. So while he was settling down to the earth, he has so many pains. So that's what he was suffering, and he did not salute to the boy also, or he did not give the smile to the boy. Yes, this particular line gives the meaning like this. Okay, the child. Okay. He began to crawl away from the boy in the opposite direction. So already he had said that. Who had said that? The pilot had said that I will distract them. Distract them means I can change their direction. So that purpose, he began to crawl away from the boy. So now the boy and the pilot are separated. See here, the pilot is crawling. Crawling means what? Crawling means move slowly because he was suffering from pain, injuries. So that's what he was unable to stand or run or walk. So that's what he was traveling. Who was traveling? The pilot was traveling. And at opposite direction, the boy is running. Who is running? A small boy is running. Yes. He began to crawl away from the boy in the opposite direction. At one direction the boy is running, at another direction the pilot is traveling, because to distract the minds of the enemies. Yes. Now let us move next paragraph. The small figure streaked. Here the small figure means none other than this small boy. We can call it in English as a small figure. Figure means what? Akruti. So what I am appearing, this is my figure. So that small figure means here none other than the boy. The small figure streaked. Streaked means streak. Line in abnormal way. Line in abnormal way. How streaked? Some lines are like this, some lines are like this. So unsteady way we can call it streaked in English. So because this was happening in the forest. Okay. So the small figure streaked across the open space back to the trees from which he had emerged. From where he came from? He came from the clumps of trees. Group of trees. So there he emerged. From where he emerged? He emerged from the clumps of tree. Emerged means came out. He came out from the clumps of tree. There he went again to escape from the enemies. Because he knows very well about the lines, route, everything. Okay. Then he started running, because what his task? His task is to hand over the papers to the commanding officer, and that should be reached Ambala station in time. Okay, so that's what he is running. The small figure streaked across the open space back to the trees from which he had emerged. The enemy, however, had seen him. So, however, even though he is running, but enemy had seen him. Enemy had seen him. Enemy who seen him? The boy. Enemy had seen the boy. Yes. The enemy, however, had seen him. A few of them gave a chase. Some of the enemies following him, chasing him, because to catch the boy. A few of them gave a chase and shot at him. Sometimes with the guns they shot towards him. Who shot? The enemies shot towards him with the help of gun. The cartridges means bullets of the gun or firing. So the cartridges fell everywhere around him. So while the boy is running in the streets, the time opposite enemies are firing around the boy. The cartridges fell everywhere around him. The child ran fast, but he ran too fast. Who ran too fast? The child ran too fast and was lost to the sight. Lost to sight means disappear. So by running very fast, he was disappeared. Who was disappeared? The boy was disappeared from the enemies. He was escaped by the enemies. Okay. Fast and lost to sight, the enemy gave up and turned their attention to the crawling figure. So here one figure is there. He was crawling. Who is he? He is the pilot. So now they have left him. They gave him. While he was running, sometimes they were firing around him, but still he managed to escape himself. Then they turned their attention towards the crawling figure. It means the pilot. Who is pilot? The injured pilot. Yes. He began. Okay. The enemy gave up and turned their attention to the crawling figure of the pilot. So who was crawling here? Here the pilot was crawling. So they turned their attention towards him. And who the enemies have left the boy. He was escaped ahead. So while he was escaped from the enemies, what happens? Let's see. A few minutes later, so while he was running through the clumps of trees, through the streets, after a few minutes, the little boy means little boy. Okay. Little boy means none other than a soldier's son. The little boy stood at the sentry. Sentry means what? A soldier standing outside a building as a guard. So sentry means a soldier guard. You can usually find the word like a soldier guard. Okay. A soldier guard is standing of the army unit. Standing in front of the army unit. Then he asked to him. Who asked? The boy asked to him, take me to the commander Sahib. So who asked? The boy asked to the sentry that take me to the commanding officer or commanding Sahib. There is something I have to deliver to him. So I have something with me. I have to reach him, deliver him. So who said so? The boy said to the commanding, sentry guard or a soldier guard. So this much is enough today. So let us discuss rest of the part in next class. Thank you.